As usual, I forgot to do any filming when I did this wall, so I'll quickly go over what I've done, and then hopefully I'll remember to film when I do the next two partitions. So basically, that white wall in front of us, that bit of mush, is the original toilet bathroom wall, which stood in there. Okay, so what I've done is I've marked lines past all the crud on the end with a straight piece of wood, using the same piece all the way up. I've marked lines across and touching the wall, and then I've marked the end where the piece of wood finished. So that distance there, if I put that on a new piece of ply, put the whole thing on the new piece of ply, and then put my marker again, my marker stick, across that, where the point comes on the new plywood is the point against the wall. And I've done that all the way up, or in this case all the way down because it's upside down. And then I did it from the bottom and marked across there. Okay, I transferred that all onto a good piece of ply, which is the piece I've already cut out, which I didn't film, which is that piece there, and that fits into there. So there you are, with that new ply in position, not fixed obviously. It's all got to be fiberglass tabbed in. But that's where it's going. And then, as I said, I've got the two more dividers for that seat there, which is the other side of the galley. And then there's another one that goes between the bed area and this front seat, which is why I said on the painting one I've left an area there that I can tab in. No point in painting it if you're going to tab. There you go. And I'll try and remember to film it next time. Right, I'm going to mark out the partition for the divider. I didn't show you how I did the main wall to the bathroom because I've neglected to put the camera on, but I'll show you how I did that by doing another one across here. I'm not an expert in this. There are many videos on YouTube that you can learn how to do this, and if you've got a good eye you'll be able to get it okay. Basically what you're doing, the divider's going in here, probably come up to that height, and then the kitchen unit will go in this area here. Now to get this shape, I'm going to use this stick pointed off at one end, and we'll use the same stick for every mark that I put on there so that they're always exactly the same. Okay, a bit damp in here at the moment because we've had a downpour, and because I unfortunately haven't got the boat in the shed, it's a case of putting up with the weather. Okay, doesn't matter where you start, as long as you always take your point this end, mark a straight line, I always mark a point in the middle, put a line down the end, so that when you take this piece of board off and lay it onto your new wood in the correct position, because you've got a straight edge down here, when you offer this up to where your lines are, as soon as it sits in those lines, that will mark on your new wood exactly where that part of the wall was. Okay? So, I'll show you what I mean. Would be able to have someone else here and hold this, to be honest with you, but there we are. So, straight line where the wood is. Actual wood doesn't have to be straight in itself. One down there, and I always put a little dot there. Okay, move it down the wall. Another straight line, and a dot. You see what I mean? So now we're getting that shape down there like that, which is mirroring that shape. So when you put this onto your normal size piece of ply, as long as you've got this edge straight, you put this back on here, you mark on your normal ply at that end, you know when you cut it out it's going to be that shape, in theory. No matter how many of these you put on, I mean I don't put too many, to be honest with you, it just gets confusing if you put too many marks. But you want the general outline. I only put the dot there so that I know it's a new line, because once they start getting all mixed up. Getting like that. One into that corner. Edge. Back in again. So you watch other people when they're doing these edges, they'll come all around like that. So your marks are up here. I don't bother doing that. I know that's roughly where that cutout's going to be. So what I will do is, once I've put it onto my board, marked it, I'll mark all the marks. But what I'll do is I'll come a straight line down those ones, bearing in mind that that's the groove there, cut out. And then when I bring the piece in, I can mark it freehand. Most people don't like to mark freehand, but I've got a fairly good eye. Just carry on down. Top. And one right into the corner. Okay, so now that is that whole wall. Now obviously you'll notice I can come along here, move it up without getting soaked. I can come along here, mark it, put my marks up Obviously we don't want to get a few confused with those ones. So best thing, number them. Mark them up like that, but we can't do it in there. So what we do there is we lean that stick that way to a diagonal. And again there, diagonal. You can do one into the centre. So it doesn't matter where you have this stick, as long as you put it back on this wood in exactly the same way. When you're offering it up to your new board, that mark will be in exactly the same position. I mean, for those that are getting a bit confused and thinking, oh, I can cut down there and then cut along there and it will fit in, well obviously this board is too small. Just put that out there. Okay, let's start moving up this way. Put that one right on the end, but I'll still mark. The spot is more merely to say where the centre of my little stick is. It's probably not exactly how other people do it, but it seems to work for me. Okay, this is where you start to mix in with the other lines that you've already got. Confusing, but that should work out to that shape. Famous last words. Unfortunately I can't bilge that water out at the moment because my bilge pump was packed up. Right, here we are then. So we've got our new bit of plywood. That's where I've cut out the wall for the toilet. Here's the piece that I've just marked up, sitting on there. Now it's up from the edge because we know that this point here, which is the start point, goes up to 1 metre. So it's 1 metre high for that partition at the edge. So I've marked 1 metre on there. I'll put my board on that. We know this edge is straight, so we can lay that there, that's fine. We know we've got enough extra height there for going up underneath where the window is. I've I've marked a dotted line to say that's my service point where I can cut it off. This stuff will still be included, but as long as I've got my service point, we know that that line there goes up where the window is, and this wood is not going up there, so we haven't got to worry about that, but it's a mark to tell me what's what. Coming down the marks, I've done a small dashed line to show me that's where the shine is, and then there's another one down here. It's all looking a bit confusing at the moment, but that's because it's all one small piece of wood and we've got to stretch it out onto that piece. So if I put the camera somewhere where we can see where the wind's not going to blow it off. Right, I'm going to use a pencil to join up the marks and then cut the shape out with a jigsaw. It's only 12mm board, so very easy to cut. This won't be super accurate as it goes in first time, I'm sure. As long as it's got a bit of extra ply on it, it's you can whittle it down a bit to fit the shape. shape. And we'll offer it up. Okay. So it should be pretty near the shape. And obviously there will be some bits to still cut out, which is those top parts and these shines. So don't want to really just in that water. So basically that's it. I'm going to have to cut these pieces out. The top part really. Get it as bob on as I can so that I can slide it under there as near as possible to these, just to mark them a bit more accurate, and then it should slide in. He says. So we've got that mark there. What we want to do now is measure that. So we're measuring up here and we know exactly where it's coming to under here, so that it can be slid under. Cut this one short, just so I've got a bit to play with. Bring the bloody electrics up here, it's fighting against me. Okay, that should be a bit nearer. Right, and as you can see, it's all starting to take shape. Don't have to be bob on. Always make sure you've got a nice solid piece of worktop to work on. Health and safety and all that. Just over 1/4 inch off there. Remember, it's got to be square, so I'll play about doing this end, get it all nice and touching at the edges and everything. If I'm not square down this end, it's all to no avail, because this end must be square, because this is the end of the divider. So the kitchen unit's there, the galley, and this is the divider to the bed area. And as I say, that will be shaped in some way. It'll be at the end of the countertop. Right, I've taken that last little piece, needed cleaning up under there, and as you can see, it's all fitted in as it should be. That's in where it should go. Not staying there, of course, because obviously the elements will get to it. It's got to come out, it's got to be treated and go in once all the windows and things are back in. I'm merely doing this as something to do right now, so I'm doing something every day. Right, this one has got to go in between the seat and the bed. I'm going to be using my same piece of wood, as it's convenient. Pieces off here. Crappy on the back, where we've been doing a bit of spraying and use this as a spray board back. So it's the same principle. Find the straight edge. Right, I've cut that piece of wood out. Had a bit of delay because I had something else to do. Had to tweak it up around the edges, just take tiny bits off here, there, until it fitted in. There it is, all as it should be, all ready for tabbing in. And as I say, the tops will be cut down to a different level.